The Singing Bowl. It was Sunday, December 24th, 2006. I went Christmas Eve to shop in Bobcaygeon for some last-minute things, so I had to leave my partner to do the groceries. Time was getting very short. I went down a back street and saw a very unusual store called Kaleidoscope. I was attracted to it and stopped. As I walked in, I saw a little Tibetan singing bowl. I looked at it and I could have cried. It seemed to be calling me. Although I was in a hurry, I picked up the little cutie and proceeded to play it. It sang beautifully, and later I would find it sent healing throughout the store. The owner heard the sound and came running in from the other room. "How did you make that bowl sing?" she asked, very excitedly. "We have tried to make it sing, but could not." Then I showed her, and with a little patience and time, the frequency picked up and grew and peaked. With that, everyone was talking about where they felt tingling in their bodies. I said to them, "What you are feeling is what you are needing. Just take in that sound." There were 5 people there. All were friends. They became very moved, asking me so many questions on healing. I just kept on answering them best I could. Then one asked, "So who are you anyway? What do you do?" After 30 minutes or more of explaining, I then really had to get going. I finally got up to the cashier and my nose started to run, literally down my face. It was like water pouring out. The cashier handed me a Kleenex. I suddenly got chills and a pain in my back in the lung area. I had to say, "Okay, you all seem well, but one of you is really sick. I'm sorry to have to say this, being Christmas Eve and all, but someone here is very ill." I turned to face them all, wondering which one it was. I didn't even know the words that were coming out of my mouth. They all just stared at me blankly. Then the little blonde lady who was the owner said, "Oh my God, my mother is in a back room resting and waiting for us. She is just down the hallway. She has double pneumonia. When we close shop, we are going to the hospital." She looked deep into my eyes. "How did you feel her when she is behind that wall?" I never even thought about it. I suggested she could use some colloidal silver water and some energy work. Then the owner said she knew of the silver water, but where she could get that Christmas Eve. Everywhere was now closed or closing, so I invited them to my home as I had just made some silver water. They agreed they would come over as soon as they closed up. Then I felt a sudden panic. My poor partner, I almost forgot him at the grocery store. When I got there, it was closed. All lights were off. He was waiting outside in the dark with a few bags, and I could tell he was not too happy with me. He said, "I thought you forgot me." Oh, I felt so bad. But when he heard the story why, he was pretty happy the woman was coming to our home for help. We got home and I started right away to get her silver water. Then I thought she should have an Orgone accumulator healing blanket too. So I gave her both as a gift. They arrived at the house and to my surprise, they gave me my money back for the singing bowl. They bought it for me as a gift. They insisted. My heart was truly touched. I then went to work on the sick woman using some energy healing. We all realized too we just knew each other somehow. It was one of those familiar moments. I remained with the sick woman that night too, doing distance therapeutic touch after she left. Can you believe this all came about from a last-minute shop on Christmas Eve? I had almost forgotten about the money re-gift from the store owner when my stepson came up to me concerned. He had a friend over who wanted to stay another night as he said, "Mom has no money for Christmas, but she will next year." I was touched by that. Don was a nice kid. We realized we forgot some minor things and had to now drive to the Buckhorn store. It was now the only place open Christmas Eve still. The only money I had in my pocket was the money I was given as a gift from the store owner. I used that money to buy my stepson's friend a hat and mitts, a book, and some candies. A little gift. I was telling the clerk Liz the story and she started to cry, saying it just reminded her of a girl she used to hang out with when she was a teenager. The girl was in a group home. She had to go by the complex one Christmas night and heard her crying, like really sobbing, as she was the only kid that no parents came to see. Every Christmas, Liz says she remembers that girl at some time. Suddenly, Liz broke down and we're both crying now. I gave Liz a big hug. What a great reminder. What compassion. There are people out there who have no family or anyone at Christmas time. Wow, I thought when I got home. This is what Christmas is really all about. Love. It turned out the store owner's mother never went to the hospital as the double pneumonia literally disappeared within hours. As she put it, her lungs cleared and cleared. She loved her blanket. I thought about that evening later on and felt it is so true that the best gifts are the ones money cannot buy. Gifts from the heart. Priceless. Thanks for your interest. To be continued. Like and subscribe. More to come.